Hey, parents and families, and happy Friday. I am Kim Markle. For those of you that I have not met, I am your child's language arts and social studies teacher. And this is your first newsletter video. I wanted to get away from the traditional, typed out weekly newsletter because I thought this is way more accessible and it's a good way for you to see my face and just kind of get to talk to you about what we're doing in the classroom. So I've got my little cheat sheet here because there's been a lot this week. So first, let's talk language arts. We started our first unit, which is our personal narrative unit, but we kind of switched it up this year. And instead of kids writing a personal narrative about themselves, they actually got to interview a few different classmates around the room. And they're going to have one classmate that they're paired up with to write a biography about that student. So next week, we're going to start interviewing a little bit more in depth. And just because of COVID procedures and things like that, the kids are doing their interview over a shared Google Doc. So they can interview each other across the room and be typing in the same document at the same time. So I think that's going to be really cool. Let's see, after that, we started our first read aloud, which is one of my favorites. This is Ground Zero by Alan Gratz. This is his new release. I started reading Alan Gratz last year to the kids and just fell in love. He does historical fiction. He uses some great author's craft moves in his writing, like tons of onomatopoeia and description. And then in this particular book, he actually switches characters' perspectives every chapter. So it follows a boy who's living in New York City in 2001 on the day that the World Trade Center towers were hit. And then the other chapters are from the perspective of a girl who lives in Afghanistan in 2019, and her name is Rashmina. And so it's really cool to see how their two stories come together. For social studies, we started talking a little bit about geography, and I just kind of got a taste of what the kids already know and where their global awareness is at. But then we spent the past 2 days talking about timelines and multiple tier timelines. So today, the students took 5 events from their life and 5 corresponding events from around the world and created a multi-tier timeline so they could compare the two. We did a lot of just like housekeeping and setup with different programs that we'll use this year. So you'll see those roll out more next week. In this email, there's also information about Scholastic book orders. If you want to get your kids a copy of this one so they can follow along or other Alan Gratz, that'd be great. But click that link and use the class code. And every time you buy books, we get points towards the classroom that I use to update the classroom library. And the kids love book day and seeing the book box come and all the new books that we get to have. Other than that, book orders will be due Monday afternoon, by the way. That's the day that I'm going to push all the orders through. Curriculum night. In this email, if you scroll down, there's a ton of information about curriculum night. This year, it's going to be held over Zoom. If you can't attend the Zoom will be recorded, but I'm also going to attach the curriculum night presentation into this email so you have it. So all of the information is in there. You can see the Zoom link and their hot link, so you can save this email, don't delete it, and that hot link is right there for you. Other than that, there's no major homework for this weekend. Each of your students should have their own independent reading book at this point, so maybe encourage them to read, because next week they are definitely required to read at least 30 minutes every night. And that's it. That's all I have for you. Hopefully we get some cooler temperatures this weekend. You guys can get outside, be a family, and just have a great time. So if you have any questions or need anything, please feel free to reach out to me via email. Otherwise, stay safe and healthy, and I will talk to you next week.